Hey, lovely people. Kris Jenner, the master puppeteer, seems to have a new plot up her sleeve. She's cooking up a scheme that's so bizarre it could only come from the Kardashian matriarch. You see, their show The Kardashians is not the rating powerhouse it once was, and Kris is not one to sit back and watch the numbers drop. So, she's got her sights set on an unconventional storyline: Khloe Kardashian and Scott Disick hooking up. I know, it's a jaw-dropper, especially coming from a mother's perspective. But hey, this is Kris Jenner we're talking about. Nothing's off the table when it comes to getting that spotlight. In recent episodes, we've witnessed some eyebrow-raising scenes where Khloe is making unnecessary visits to Scott.
Khloe, we're close enough that I could sleep here.
I'm not saying you can't, but like for a night or something.
And even rushing him to the hospital.
You have to do physical therapy. You don't just like get new Who wants a surgery?
You're in a car accident.
Yeah. Since then, everything has changed in my life. Like, I haven't been able to run around, I've gained weight.
And who can forget the moment when Kris slyly convinced everyone, including Scott himself, that he has a crush on Khloe?
I think Scott probably has a crush on Khloe. Listen, I have a crush on Khloe. Everyone has a crush on Khloe.
She even went as far as to call Penelope Scott's daughter and asked her who Scott should date.
What qualities should we look for in a girl?
Older. He was saying late 20s, but I said young 30s is
No,
fine.
20s?
Whatever.
Exactly.
You're 40.
It's all part of Kris's grand plan to boost those ratings. But here's the twist. There's some history to this drama. Rumor has it that Scott and Khloe had an off-screen fling back in 2015. So, while it might sound absurd, there's a backstory that might just add some fuel to this ratings fire. Now, what's Kourtney's take on all this? She's not having it, folks. Kourtney's furious with Kris and Khloe, and she's not holding back. She's even threatened to tear up that contract with the show and the entire Kardashian family. If you've been keeping up with the Kardashians from the get-go, then you know Kourtney has consistently shown she's different from her younger siblings. As the oldest child, Kourtney was often the scapegoat of the family, and she had a tumultuous relationship with her mom, Kris, since she was a child. Kourtney resented Kris for breaking up the family by having an affair with Todd Waterman, while Kris never fully acknowledged how her affair hurt Kourtney.
For some reason, you do not give mom the benefit of the doubt ever from your childhood, and it's really unfair.
As for Kourtney's younger sisters, Kim and Khloe, they would almost always take Kris's side and blame Kourtney for every little thing.
I'm just saying sometimes our memories get a little warped by our age. I'm just saying, but don't be so hard on your mom.
Over the years, it also became clear that Kim and Khloe were jealous of Kourtney's confidence, and they hated how Kourtney didn't have to try hard to get attention. While both Kim and Khloe have drastically changed their appearance with cosmetic procedures, and they're still photoshopping their Instagram posts beyond recognition, Kourtney is the most natural-looking Kardashian, and she simply doesn't care about projecting a perfect image for social media. Besides that, Kourtney is the only one of Kris Jenner's daughters with a college degree, and she was never obsessed with fame and the spotlight. However, thanks to her personality and sense of humor, Kourtney quickly became fans' favorite sister, and Kim just couldn't handle it. In fact, Kim would often throw it in Kourtney's face how she made her famous and gave her a career.
Just not do that for me as a favor, because I've done so much for you. And for Scott to call me and say, you should buy her a pair of shoes.
I don't need a pair of shoes.
In the
I
game.
can buy my own
and I'm
shoes.
like, buy her a pair of shoes. All the I've done for her. I said to Scott, I'm not buying her a pair of shoes. I bought her a career.
And the more unbothered Kourtney was, the more Kim and Khloe tried to provoke her by accusing her of being lazy and not contributing enough to the show.
Our job is being open and honest and sharing a lot of ourselves, and it just seems like for the past few years now, Kourtney hasn't really been open about her personal life on camera. So all of the days that Kourtney isn't filming, Khloe and I are picking up the slack and having to share more, because if we're not sharing our lives, then what is the show?
But if you're an OG KUWTK fan, then you know Kourtney shared more than enough over the years. All her messy drama with Scott was broadcast for the world to see, and she literally gave birth to 2 children on camera. So for Kim and Khloe to accuse her of not showing enough is crazy. But for some reason, Kim and Khloe kept picking on Kourtney. And while Khloe would often act as the instigator, Kim would do the most to humiliate Kourtney on camera. To give you just one example, during one episode of KUWTK, Khloe instigated a fight between Kourtney and Kim by telling Kim that Kourtney didn't care about her fashion opinions.
I don't know if I trust her. Why? Who do you want to FaceTime? Kendall?
stop saying that. If people are saying something, stop trying to control their brain. She wants me to call Kendall because she doesn't care about you and I.
Of course, Kim immediately jumped at the opportunity to attack Kourtney, while Khloe acted clueless like she didn't totally insult her.
Well, if you don't care about you and I, why do you keep on picking out all the same clothes?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never dressed like you.
Oh, is there a fight here?
No, but Danielle was like, when you're public, I don't care if Danielle's there. Hi, Danielle. I dress completely different than Kim.
Kim went completely crazy and bombarded Kourtney with mean text messages, calling her an ungrateful bee and trash-talking her with Kris.
She just was going so crazy. She's sending me the meanest text messages. You would die. She's like, you're the biggest ungrateful. And Kourtney's like screamed at me on the phone.
Screamed at you?
And was like, you think I like your style? You have the lamest style. You and fake humanitarian. I actually do for the world, and you fake it all day long and act like, oh, there's people dying, Kim, and what the are you doing about it?
But clearly, this wasn't just about Kourtney wearing Kim's favorite designer, and many fans said Kim never got over Kourtney exposing her for being shallow and self-absorbed.
Diamond earring came up in the ocean and it's gone. And there's people that are dying.
The tension between Kim and Kourtney culminated during the season 18 premiere, when Kim once again provoked Kourtney and then proceeded to act like a victim. Kourtney was just sitting there minding her own business when Kim made a shady comment about how Kourtney and Kendall can't be trusted to show up for important things.
Just said, Mom is so used to it, and then I said, me, Kourtney, me and Khloe, you know, whenever, if you don't care about stuff. If you mention it again, literally shut the up and don't laugh like that. You look like a freak.
Kourtney then threw an empty water bottle at Kim, and Kim completely lost it and ended up slapping Kourtney twice.
If I didn't want to work my ass and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, that's fine. How you? Shut your up. Sleeping. Guys, stop! How old am I? How old are you?
But despite Kim and Khloe constantly trying to portray Kourtney as the lazy, ungrateful sister, fans saw right through their scheme and they took Kourtney's side. Kim is very verbally and emotionally abusive. One fan said, "The only reason people watched the Kardashians to begin with was Scott and Kourtney. I think Kourtney is finally standing up for herself and highlighting emotional abuse. The way they treat her is so awful. I wonder, do they actually see how they appear to the public? It's never okay to constantly put another person down." What's also interesting is that Kim and Khloe seem to get along best with Kourtney when Kourtney was at her most miserable and dealing with Scott's drama. However, ever since Kourtney found true happiness with Travis Barker, Kim and Khloe again started acting like mean girls. In 2022, Kourtney became the first Kardashian member to attend the Oscars, and she walked the red carpet with Travis. But get this, Kim barely acknowledged Kourtney's attendance, and instead, she posted photos of herself from the Vanity Fair Oscars after party. Kim even captured the photo of herself, Oscars 2022, as if she attended the actual event and not just the after party. One source later told The Sun that Kim was jealous of all the attention Kourtney and Travis were getting as a couple, and that watching Kourtney walk the red carpet was bittersweet. Kim is so happy for Kourtney, but part of her wonders if she is slipping on the social scale, this source said. For the first time, Kourtney is receiving as much, if not more, attention than her, while her name is mostly just tied to Kanye and their messy divorce. But if you thought that was bad, wait till you see how Kim tried to make Kourtney's wedding day all about herself and couldn't even hide her jealousy while giving a speech at the wedding reception. During the recent Hulu special, Kourtney and Travis, Kim was shown giving Kourtney advice about walking down the aisle, and all Kim could talk about was her own wedding in Italy to Kanye. Kim also told Kourtney that she needs to stay calm and take it all in because this happens only once.
Take it in. This only happens once.
Really? Only once? Doesn't Kim have like 3 marriages behind her? But that's not all. Kim later gave a half-hearted speech at the wedding reception, and many fans said the speech sounded like Kim was making fun of Kourtney and Travis's relationship.
You brought us along in your fairy tale, and there's really no love story like you guys. It's a movie, it's the cutest. You guys are the best.
One fan commented, even Kim's tone in how she gave the wedding night speech seemed weird. And another person said, Kim came out so bitter after this episode, like I understand her marriage with Kanye and divorce or hell, but this is about her sister. Just suck it up for one day. Now as for Khloe, rumor has it that she's also insanely jealous of Kourtney's happily ever after, but she's trying to fake it for the public because she doesn't want people to start talking about her. Her and Tristan Thompson. Khloe and Tristan are rumored to be back together. However, Khloe is trying really hard to hide it, and while she publicly supports Kourtney and Travis's union, fans notice that her body language is telling otherwise, and she seems very bitter that she'll never have that kind of relationship with Tristan.
Khloe's body language says it all. She doesn't approve of Kourt and Travis.
Speaking of weddings, Courtney. Great timing, Vegas, 2 a.m. Elvis, whose idea?
The second we got to Vegas. No, the second we got to Vegas, actually, we just started, talking about the idea, and then after Sibling it was just, there was no option.
So how does Kourtney feel, knowing that her own sisters are jealous of her happy marriage? While according to sources close to Kourtney, she knows very well how toxic Kim and Khloe can get, and she no longer lets this bother her. In fact, Kourtney recently admitted that she wouldn't mind if her family retired and left her alone.
Can the Kardashians just retire? That would be nice.
Fans are now praising Kourtney for setting boundaries for herself, and they're also dragging Kim and Khloe for being jealous of their sister. One fan commented, Kimberly and Khloe are totally envious of Kourt. I noticed the sisters barely posted to anything about the wedding. Maybe it was kept private, but it seems to be jealousy, and Kourt probably had to put them all in their place. She seemed to be happier with Travis than her sisters. And another fan added, that's jealousy all right, with Khloe being the pod star. Perhaps Kim found out that Kourtney and her husband received Met Gala invitations, possibly by strings pulled by Ye himself. And now I want to hear your thoughts on how do you feel about Kris's nasty plan. That's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe, and love you guys so much.